Ciao a tutti, hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn to correctly pronounce the names of some Italian cities. Some might be very well known and some might not be well known, so you might hear them for the first time. How are we going to do this? We're going to do this in a fun little way. We're going to pop them into the Italian alphabet, so you get to review that as well. Why am I using cities and alphabet? Well, it's very simple. As you know, in English, when you need to spell out a word or a name, you usually spell it out by using what sometimes is referred to as the military alphabet. So like C like Charlie, D like Delta, and so on. In Italian, you don't use that type of alphabet, but instead of saying Alpha, Beta, Charlie, we use the names of the Italian cities. Why do we do that? Well, it's quite simple. Those cities are very common cities. So for us Italians, they are normal words that we hear not every day, but almost every day. We know about them. So if you spell out a word and you associate it with a city that begins with that same letter, for us, it's easy to understand what you're talking about. Let me give you an example. Take my name. My name is Giulia, okay? If I need to spell this out, I would say G di Genova, I di Imola, U di Udine, L di Livorno, I di Imola, A di Ancona. All those were cities, Italian cities, okay? This is a very useful little exercise because you might need to do this if you book a table at a restaurant and you need to spell out your name, if you're talking to a hotel, okay? If you are in Italy already and you need to, I don't know, reserve something that is more complicated in a restaurant or a hotel, like if you need to go to the doctor and tell them your name, okay? So what I suggest is that you listen to the full alphabet said by me and you review the alphabet and the cities, and then underneath this video, as a little exercise, I want you to write out your name and do the same thing that I did with mine. So I did the spell out of my name and I associated to this city. Why don't you do the same with your name? Right underneath the comment, I'm very curious what all of your beautiful names are, okay? You will notice that in some cases, we might not have a common city that begins with that letter of the alphabet. So we just used another very common word. The idea here is that we need a common word that everybody understands. Otherwise, it would be pointless to use this type of alphabet, right? We're trying to make things simple for the person that listens on the other side, right? Okay, so let's begin with the alphabet. Listen closely to all the different letters. Write down your name right now so that you can insert the correct city next to it. Okay? Here we go. A di Ancona, B di Bologna, C di Como, D di Domodossola, E di Empoli, F di Firenze, G di Genova, H di Hotel. In this case, we didn't have a commonly known city that began with an H, so we just used hotel. I di Imola, L di Livorno, M di Milano, N di Napoli, O di Otranto, P di Palermo, Q di... Once again, we don't have a city that everybody knows that begins with a Q, so we just used Quadro, Q di Quadro, R di Roma, S di Savona, T di Torino, U di Udine, V di Verona, Z di Zorro. Okay. Sometimes it's Zorro, sometimes it's zebra. Okay, once again, there wasn't a super common Italian city that we could associate with the letter, so we just use Zorro or zebra. Okay, you might have variations to this, okay? So like V di Verona or V di Venezia. Once again, two very common cities, okay? So it might change a little bit, but the idea here is to have a city that everybody knows and that everybody understands when they're listening. Then, do you remember that when we looked at the alphabet, we talked about 5 extra letters that we call the exotic or international letters? Those are the letters that we simply stole from the other languages, but they're very useful because we now have words that are spelled with those letters. So how would we do the same thing with those letters? Here they are for you. J di jolly. K di koala. Che carino. W di Washington. X di xilofono. I know this is a very difficult word to say. We don't have a lot of words in Italian that begin with an X. We generally use xilofono when we need to spell out a word that has an X inside it. And then we have Y di yacht. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please spell out your name in the comments. And I really hope that this can come in handy if you come to Italy and you need to spell out your name, your email address, or any other kind of information, okay? Make sure to check out italianlanguagehub.com for further information on my courses. Share this video with all those that are interested in learning Italian. I'm sure they will enjoy it too. Ci vediamo presto. Un bacione a tutti. Ciao!